What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be learning how to install Outer Wilds mods on Linux. So before we continue, this was posted on the Outer Wilds mods Reddit, the Outer Wilds Reddit, sorry, by the user Zen42. He posted a short guide by the user Bunnies, the Discord user Bunnies. So yeah, we're gonna go through the steps. So the first thing that you're gonna want to do is, and this is actually running through this process right now, you're gonna want to make sure that when you boot up Outer Wilds for the first time, you're actually running it on Proton 5.0-10. Now I'm gonna be splicing up the video, obviously, but so it's gonna go from Proton 5.0-10 to Proton. It says, the guide says Proton 6.3-8, but I'm pretty sure any version past that version will still be able to work with it. So yeah, that's the first thing that you're going to do. Just right click the game, hit properties, and go to compatibility. Make sure that that's the version running. So there's our first step there. And then once the game boots up and you mess around with the world for a little bit, then we will continue to our next step. Okay, so we got our game booted up, and just for extra measure, we're actually just gonna walk around the world a little bit. As you can see, I did the fresh installation to actually go through this tutorial with you, so that way, it's we understand that it's actually working on Linux, and that I'm not just pulling a big prank on you guys or whatever, because everybody on YouTube would think that. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so we'll interact with the world a little bit. I already had a save previously loaded on this, so but yeah, we're just gonna make sure that everything works, and we just run through the world a little bit. Because sometimes it takes, sometimes you need to initialize the game, fully load everything before, doing things like this. And it looks like we're getting a decent frame rate with a stream. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to restart, and now we're going to exit out of the game. And oftentimes it'll tell you your save file's corrupted, even though there's no save file corrupted, that nothing's wrong with it, it's perfectly fine. But anyway. Alright, now on to our next step. So where you are going to go for the next step is going to depend entirely where the game is installed. If you have the game installed on your boot drive, then the guide will work just as intended. If it's installed on an external drive, it's going to be mostly similar, but what you're going to do is going to go to Steam Library, Steam Apps, and then compat data, and then you'll be able to follow the prompts from there, and the process will be exactly the same. And yes, I've tried it on my secondary drive. So we're gonna go to Home, Local, Share, Steam Apps, compat data. Then we're gonna note this number 753640. PFX, Drive C, Program Files 86, Steam. All right. And once and what you are going to do in this folder is you're going to right click in the folder, open your terminal, or in this case you could just click Shift F4. And you are going to type sudo ln-s, and then those symbols right there, .local, share, Steam, and I'll leave the commands down in the description of the video for you. Steam Apps. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to copy and paste the commands. Yeah, just copy and paste these commands. Well, this command, but you know what I mean. then type in your sudo password. All right. And if there is a Steam Apps folder in there, delete it and then try the command again. So what we're going to do next is we're going to install ProtonTricks. And you're going to, again, right-click or open your terminal, or just click Shift F4 if you're on KDE Plasma. And you're going to do ProtonTricks. You're going to type in ProtonTricks. Yeah, ProtonTricks 753.640.net 48. Now, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, but in order to do this, you will need to have two things. You will have to have downloaded two things. You will need to download both the Outer Wilds mod manager, and you will need to download ProtonTricks. As for Ubuntu and Fedora, those are pretty easy. You can install them. I think it's in their package managers. But on Manjaro, you would go to, I'm going to open up Octopi, but it should be also in the add remove software. It's in the regular repository, so if you just go to Octopi or to add remove software and type in ProtonTricks, you should be able to find that pretty easily, just fine. Yep, it's in both Octopi and the add remove software. So now it's gonna go through this process. It's gonna take a little bit for it to go through. So I'll go ahead and stop the playthrough here, and then we'll start once again once we have it fully installed. Okay, so now it's the installer is actually running now. So what you're just gonna want to run through it, and there's only like one step at the end that's really noteworthy to mention. But basically, just check I have read and accept the license terms, and just click install, and then it will run through this process. Now, once it is done, then we'll get to that. But basically, there might be a few more prompts after this. Just run install, and then we'll get to the end when we get there. All right, so now it appears that the .NET Framework 4 has been installed. So you're going to go ahead and click Finish, because then that's going to be the prereq for .NET 4.8, or we just put .NET 48 for ProtonTricks, because that's what it recognizes it as. So that will be coming up in just a second. So literally just wait a second while let the terminal do its thing, and then you should see a prompt here soon. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but there was a prompt that said extracting files, and then the .NET Framework 4.8 came up there. So then you're going to see this prompt here. You're going to go ahead and click Continue. Agree and accept the license terms. And then you're going to let it install the necessary .NET Framework 4.8 components. Okay, so now the process of installing .NET 4.8 has been complete. So you're going to go click Finish, and you're just going to go ahead and click Restart Later here. Okay? All right, and that should be said and done right there. Now, the next step, run the game again, just in case something broke. Okay. It says to run the game again just in case something broke. Of course, if that's the case, then we got bigger problems on our hands, then you just need to restart the whole process. But switch to Proton. We're just going to do 6.3-8. Because it actually, you don't need any version past that. And sometimes newer versions can break older versions, which is why the whole Proton project exists, really, for compatibility of older games. So switch the Proton version. And we're just going to, we'll go ahead and just run it again, just in case something broke. We'll go ahead and just run it again, yeah. Okay. Switch to Proton 5.3-8. Okay, so we are in the share Steam apps, pat data, 0 drive files 86, Steam. Okay, just want to make sure that this is the folder we need to be in. Okay. ProtonTricks 753.640.net 48. Just need to make sure. Okay, yep. It says .NET 48 already is installed, so it doesn't look like, you know, it doesn't matter if you run the game first and then switch the Proton version, or if you switch the Proton version first, then run the game. It's not going to overwrite your .NET settings, so no problem there. So, I need to find, because I only got one screen to work with. I'm just a one-screen Chad. I'm dabbing all you millennials. I'm dabbing on all of you millennials that like have your double screen setup. So now here we're gonna find our Outer Wilds mod manager installer.exe, and that should be, here it is, Outer Wilds mod manager installer.exe. I always just hit copy, and then we're gonna put it into our .NET 48 containerized wine environment or Proton environment. Steam apps compat data 753.640. You're gonna put it in the exact path that we that was mentioned in the guide. So you're gonna put it in the local share Steam apps compat data. You're gonna put that exe of the mod manager installer in local share Steam apps compat data 753.640 prefix drive C program files 86 Steam. So you're gonna paste one file. We'll put that there. And then we are going to run the installer with the following command. All right. We're going to run it with, you're basically going to go into your file folder, open your terminal, and then type ProtonTricks launch Outer Wilds mod manager dash installer.exe, and then you are going to run it with the Outer Wilds. You're going to click Outer Wilds right here and run it with that. It's just the Proton version that it's pointing to. So then you're just going to run through the install process. Yeah, just run the installer using ProtonTricks and complete the install. Yep, just literally just click yes to everything. Let it do its standard thing. Then we will open the mod manager. And I'm going to reorganize my screen a little here. Yeah, I just need to reorganize my screen a little here. So, yep, this is basically where we can get to the nitty-gritty of what we're doing next. So open the mod manager, go to settings, and actually, it says go to settings first, but I actually think we need to install the OWML, the Outer Wilds mod loader, first before we do anything. And then you're going to go to settings, and you are going to check this option that says launch game exe directly. This says directory, but it's really directly. I think it was just misspelled. So, and another thing that's not noted, this is an important note. The game folder by default thinks that it's on a Windows drive. You are actually going to want to find the game manually, because if you do not find it manually, it's not going to point to the actual exe that's on your Linux host system. So if you just click find, if you see this right here where my mouse is pointing, the / just click that, click home, and then go to home, Luke. Actually, there's another way to find it. Give me a second. Actually, you should be able to... Okay. A better way to do this is... So the Outer Wilds exe is in home, local, share, Steam apps. So it's in home... It's in home... It's in home, local, share, and then, of course, like, in between home and local, show your name. You can basically take this path right here in your file explorer. If you double click, if you're on KDE Plasma, and even if you're not, you can just install the Dolphin file explorer. You can literally just copy this path and paste it into here. Hold on. Or you can manually type it in. Luke. Okay. You can then, from here, just copy from local. Like, so my name's Luke, so you can literally just copy, everything past Luke and just type it in that way. It just needs you to be pointing to the exe file. Now, all of these are going to be /, so you might have to change these to backslashes in between the file folders. I haven't exactly figured out how to get the hidden files to show, but nevertheless, you could still do it. You will just have to type it in manually. Okay, so there is our our game folder right there. Now, it's actually a lot easier if you install it on an external drive, because you can the external drive, for whatever reason, can actually get to that folder, but I haven't figured out how to do it on the boot installation. So if you are thinking about doing this, you might have an easier time doing it on your external drive, but this right now is the only way I know how to do it on my boot drive, unless I'm just being stupid and missing something. So you are going to want to click Start Game just once. Yep, game version supported. It's found. Now, it's not actually going to launch in Steam, but I'm going to demonstrate a few mods. We are going to demonstrate I demonstrated to you in the game. This is a first-person game by default, but there is a third-person mod in the game. Third-person camera. We'll install that. It says the Smoke Zen camera utility. Okay, there's another thing that's dependent on it. It's dependent on another mod called the Zen camera. Zen.common camera utility. Common camera utility. So we'll go ahead and install that. And then we will go ahead and click Start Game. Every time you want to install a new mod, you should go ahead and click Start Game. At least it doesn't say to do that, but at least in my experience, that's what has been working for me. So it doesn't actually launch your game. But yeah, the only mod that we have installed is the third-person the third-person camera perspective. So we are now, before you start the game, make sure you close out of the mod manager completely. And now for the moment of truth, we're actually going to boot it up and see if it worked. And again, you do not have to launch it via the mod manager. You just have to launch it via Steam after you have injected mods into it. Now, to prove that I am not lying and that this is actually running on Linux, you can see in the top left corner the Mango HUD. Yeah, Mango HUD. There is no native version of Mango HUD for Windows. So as you can see, we have the enabled mods, the third-person camera utility, right there. For the moment of truth. Okay, there we go. That's it. We can now switch between first person and third person, and that's one of the mods that was that is available in the Outer Wilds mod manager. So there you have it. And yes, you can see that it's running on Proton 6.3-8. We are using the Mesa drivers, game mode, and this is clearly Mango HUD. And it's using DXVK on Linux. So this again, I am not lying. The mod manager actually works on Linux. So there you go. That is how you will get your Outer Wilds mods to work on Linux. I hope you found this video helpful, and I wish you the best of luck with running this, and have fun not playing on the have fun playing this game, but not under the iron grip of the bloated legacy of Billy G. We can escape the Matrix together, and the Great Reset, and all the other fun things. So, all right, that's all I have for today. Thanks, guys.